Well, welcome to 180 U-Turn, the talk show that features some of the greatest conversions of our time. Stories of men and women who are on the highway to hell when they encountered a Damascus Road event that completely turned their lives around. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savan, and today we're broadcasting live from Church on the Street at the Dream Center in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona. It's one of the top post-prison transition, detox, and rehab facilities for inmates, drug and alcohol abuse. And for more information on their prison ministries, rehabilitation services, weekly meetings, and special events, just go out to their website at cotsphoenix.org. That's cotsphoenix.org. And if you want to write me at the show, Steve at 180uturn.com. That's Steve at 180YOUTURN. Wait a minute. YOUTURN. Okay, just making sure. I said YouTube 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh, no, that can't be right. Okay. Today on our show, we're day 3 with Elena, right?
Yes.
Elena Kloeckner, and we're talking about her life. And as you know, the usually by the time we get to Wednesday, it's not going to get better. It's always darker before the sunrise.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It can be very dark at 3:34 in the morning, but it's going to get dark. But we know the sun is coming.
Darkest before the dawn.
Darkest before the dawn. And I like the ability to hear a story that has impact. You're going to have impact on people who are watching this, and they're going to go, oh my gosh, that's me. And if you're hearing any part of this story, and if you watch the first 2 episodes, Steve, she's talking my language. This is my story. I have kids. Everything she's talking about, I'm just hitting it. I'm hitting all the buttons as she's going through her story. If this is yours, this is your time. And don't wait. Contact me at the station. Say, Steve, or write me at the email. I'm happy to get you tied up and connected with Dream Center or whoever else you want to get connected with. We have several places throughout the valley, especially if you're local, to do this. And if you're not local, I got an 800 number that I can kiss you into that will help you in other places if you're in other places of the country. Well, listen, where we're talking now, we're talking about we're full-blown heroin. We're doing that. Are you still doing meth at this time too, or just heroin?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing both.
Yes.
Tell me about the lifestyle of this coupling of meth and heroin at the same time.
Well, it kind of takes over your life, really. I mean, I went from losing things in my life one at a time, including my children, including my house, my job, my car, everything, to, I mean, it's all I wanted, it's all I needed, it was my everything, really. And to the point that I was jumping around homes for a while there. Like, I was welcome at the time, still welcome at my parents' house, but I didn't want to be there because I was ashamed of what I was doing.
Yeah, I want to say something to that point. You have a rare conscience during this time. This is to me, this is kind of an appeal, right? Most people don't. They go in to live with their parents, they rip them off. They go to live with their brother and sister, they rip them off. They wreak havoc in homes, right? I mean, a lot of people that are addicted, they just go crazy. You seem to have a conscience,
yes,
why this is going on. So I applaud that. But having, we're always told about, medications. You don't mix this medication with that medication, whatever. Well, meth and heroin seem to be a dangerous combo.
Yeah, they're like on the opposite scale.
Right.
One's a upper, the other one's a downer. But that's what I wanted, was that up and down feeling, really. Because I didn't like being too far down, but I didn't like being too far up neither. So it's what got me going.
And we're saying, when we say this, that we cannot achieve a level lifestyle without it. That's what you're saying, basically.
Really?
At the time,
Yes.
I mean, so we weren't born to do dope, right? Even if you didn't believe in God, the human condition, we're not born physiologically to be doing dope.
Right.
Right? And you are smart. You're not somebody that's just like some street urchin out there. You're smart. You got a head on your shoulder. You have a conscience. So when I think about things like this and the stuff that you're going through we're going to talk about in a second here, it's mystifying that I remember in my young days, who wants to do Valium? Well, we're going to hit the stage in a second here. I want to be up, right? I don't want to be doing downers, I want to have a good time, right? And bring the crowd into it, right? So when we're talking about doing double the duty like this, it's such a conflict because I'm going up, I'm going down, I'm crashing and burning. I get sick if I don't get it right away, right? I mean, all these things are happening, and I want out. Don't I want out? But not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, and this is the thing I always share with people. I guess we have to go further down below the basement of the soul before we start thinking, I might have a problem here, a real problem?
I always heard you got to hit rock bottom, but every time I thought I was about to hit rock bottom, the floor would fall out from underneath me and I'd start falling again.
Now you went to the hospital, the ones a couple times, right?
Yeah.
Many times, right?
Yes.
And you're always going to the hospital. You're on opioids. Anesthesia has its own little benefit, I'm sure. And you're trying to find out. You're having flashes all the time.
Well, what it was is I was in a lot of pain. I didn't know what was going on with me. It was in my abdomen, and it was excruciating. It hurt so bad. Some friends convinced me, because it took a lot to convince me to go to the hospital. I didn't like hospitals. So when I would actually go to the hospital, when I went to the hospital, they put me on anesthesia. I don't even remember what it was that they told me, because I was so out of it. But when they asked me, because they saw my track marks, they saw that I was using, they asked me what I was using. I told them meth. I wasn't honest with them. I didn't tell them about the downer part of it. So when they gave me whatever they gave me, I was out. I was out. And the flashes was me. I remember waking up and a nurse was standing over me telling me that I needed to leave before she called the cops. I remember flashes of me crossing 27th Avenue going to the hotel I was staying at across the street. And then later on I woke up in the hotel room in the bed, still unaware of what was going on or what happened. And I found out that I had left the hospital like 3 days earlier. I had been there asleep for 3 days.
Well, I would think it's somewhat fortuitous that you parked yourself in front of a hospital. I mean, you're living in front of a hospital at least, right? The thing that gets me about this is why is the ER not doing a blood test? Why am I listening to you to tell me what you have? Why aren't they doing a blood test to find this out?
Right.
See, that to me is just, I don't get that, right? Why hey, what are you on? And you tell them I'm on meth, but you don't tell them about the heroin, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm just sorry, but as a regular layman, just listening to the story, I just find that to be atrocious. All right, so you're living across the street in this place now, and you are now a full-blown addict, and this is going to own your life for about a decade.
Yes.
Is that not so?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, you're young.
Yes.
You're just young today. No, I'm just saying, you're young. You're still young.
Yes.
Right? So in the big picture of things, to give yourself over, it's one thing, you were married 8 years, right? It didn't work out. But you gave a lot of sweat equity to that, a lot of heartache, a lot of affection, right?
Yes.
Now we're taking that same heartache, affection, and now I'm giving 10 years dedication to dope.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
See, and again, I keep returning to your smarts. You're not dumb. You're smart. You actually have intelligence. And so I'm just like, wow, I'm just blown away, right, at giving yourself 10 years on this. And of course, at this time, your children are now growing up. It's 10 years. Your children are teenagers now.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
During this time period. Yeah. And they know what mom's into.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And how hurtful, were you conscious enough coming out of some of your delirium, depending upon if you're going up or down, to think that way?
I was. I ended up out on the street, and I was out there for that 10 years. I was on the street, and at one point, my ex-husband and now his wife at that time had come out, and they had found me out there because my kids were worried about me. Everybody was worried about me. They hadn't heard from me in a while. And I was informed that my daughter had told them that she was afraid that they were going to receive a phone call one day that they found my body dead behind a dumpster from an OD.
By the way, that's not an illegitimate thought.
No, it's not.
So.
But instead of that opening my eyes and pulling me out of it, I just.
Okay, but your ex came out because of that. I see. There's a little pieces of this story that it's like, God is trying to knock
tried.
on the door here.
He tried.
My child is totally worried about me. Her fears are absolutely warranted. Your ex is even out there with his new gal, right? Mm-hmm. Looking for you on the streets. I mean, this God, it seems like there's already love of God showing up here, but you don't recognize it as such yet.
I didn't really believe in God at the time, so I didn't even see it that way at all.
Well, I mean, are you saying you were an atheist?
Yes.
Okay. Now, here you are. There is no God in your life, and this is what your life is. Yes. And you've already done 12.5 trips to jail for various things.
Yes.
right?
Mostly trespassing, but yeah.
Well, I'm trying to put together the drug addiction, and I'm just walking into places I shouldn't be, or I'm walking into places I shouldn't be because I'm ripping them off, or whatever.
No, it was places that I shouldn't be. The area that I was hanging out in, even if you walked into the parking lot, like crossing through the parking lot to get to the other side of the street or whatever, if the cops saw you there, they could arrest you. And since I was on the street, they were used to seeing me, and I shouldn't have been out there. They would arrest me whenever they had a chance to.
All right, what's your longest stint in jail?
It would be the last time I was there was, let's see here, September 10th till the end of October. So
okay, there's no methadone clinic in jail.
No, I had a detox in jail every time I went in.
I mean, you were ever in the P5 unit?
I was in the P5 unit once.
Okay, so my original introduction to P5 unit was not good, and being a guy in a gal's jail would complicate my life even more. Because they're taking they're ripping all the clothes off. They're looking for dope.
Yes,
they're looking for dope. They're let you lay on which I protest, by the way. And hopefully they're women DOs, right? Hopefully. So I find it astonishing to me that I can sit there. There is no God, and I'm ruining my life. The one life I only have. This is like I don't even believe in reincarnation, right? So I have one life and I've already messed it up, and now I don't believe in God on top of all this, right? So to me, this is where it gets messy in my mind, because I'm trying to see how people can wrap their arms around this. Hey, how is this true? And I just want to say to you, listen, if you're sitting there saying, hey, listen, I'm an atheist just like Elena is, yeah, well, I just want to give you an opportunity to ask God to expose himself to you, to reveal himself to you. If you're really that mindset, I'm asking you now, for your own soul's sake and for your own health, to ask God, because only he is going to be able to repair. And the repair bill on Elena's life is a big one. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I see now, when I look back, I see a lot of the times that he was there. But at the time, I was blind to it. I couldn't see it.
What I'm thinking, when you were in Australia, I always laugh at people who show up for chapel. I never know if they're serious or not, or just trying to get out of their dorm, whatever, right?
Right.
But you went there, and you met a gal there that seemed to turn your head. She was a pastor's wife, right?
Yes.
That's a cool girl.
Yeah, she, it wasn't even in the chapel, because as I said, I didn't believe in God, but at some point out on the street, having people come outreach out there, having people come to me and talk to me about God, about this program and everything.
Dream Center was doing this.
Oh, yes, yes.
Wow. Okay, so you hear this for the first couple times, and what is it, like fantasy?
So I would accept prayer, even though I didn't believe in God, because I knew that it was people showing their care and their concern about
Did you read it that way?
Yeah, that's how I saw it.
And so you that was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
So when this lady that I met in jail, she held this Bible study, and unfortunately the chapel was shut down because of COVID. But she was trying to do what she could, being in knowing Jesus the way that she did, having the relationship that she had with him. She wanted to do something since there was no chapel, and she would hold a Bible study and on the second time that she was trying to do it, it was just me and her. It was just me and her on that time. So she put up the chairs, and she sat down, and she was reading her Bible, and she looked so sad that nobody was showing up. So I went over there and sat down. And I was like, so what were you going to talk about?
And she did talk about the Damascus Road experience of Paul, right? Or Saul before his conversion.
Yes.
He got a new name, and sometimes when we talk about Thursday's show, which is going to be coming up here real soon, we're almost ready to close out this episode, I like it because you get a new heart, a new mind. Hey, some people get new names.
Yes.
I love it.
All over the Bible.
And I noticed that the Book of Revelation even tips us out. He says, and you get a new song and a new name.
Yep, written on a white stone.
I love that. I not stoned, a white stone. Okay,
just clarifying.
I'm just clarifying for all my friends out there that say that I have problems with mispronouncing words. Yes, okay. I've been hanging with people too long. Okay. Well, listen, for more information on the very things we're talking about on Dream Center, Church on the Street, just hop out to their website at cotsphoenix.org. That's phoenix.org for all their weekly services, their special events, their rehabilitation, and all the things they're doing with prison ministry, which is, by the way, COVID's pretty much gone now, so we're already going back into the prison. So until next time, remember, I'm Steve Savant, and no one's outside the reach of God. No, not one.